Boom, coming in hot, boys. What's going on? The Lambooski and Chinchimino. What's up, fellas?
Boo's in the house. You fired up, Boo?
Man, I can't tell you guys. I love this part of the week.
Okay. All right. Well, here's the deal. I told the guys, I told them both, I need to start this, okay? Because at the very end of last episode, and I'm hoping to finalize this clip if I get 6 fucking free minutes this week. But I said to Boo, he's talking about tight ends, and I go, dude, so I picked up Cole Kmet because I think, you know, him and Fields have a good thing. They had a good week. He's like, yeah, get him. I think he's going to be good. And then I said, well, hold on. This is really messed up. And I said, Yahoo's projections for him only have him getting like 5.6 points or something. And then, Case, you know, you have children. I hope they didn't hear the show last week because Boo went absolutely bananas.
They needed to hear it.
Now, let me preface. 7 targets, 4 receptions, 74 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns, won me a huge game. Now, let me just step back for a second. So I was trying to figure out, like, how do I, like, hype up how great this call was from Boo and how upset he was about it.
Well, we were talking about that when Lambooski and I were watching the games on Sunday. We were talking about, you know, that pickup. What's the guy's name again?
Cole Kmet.
Cole Kmet. And he 2 touchdowns, and then Chinch was like, I took him, and then it was incredible. So not only that, Boo, but the Bears did lose that game 31-30. The Lions finally got one. But take us back to the Week 10 recap, right? Week 10?
Yeah, Week 10.
10 recap. What did the big Lambooski see?
Well, I think I'd be remiss if I didn't say that we saw the game of the year pretty much if you were watching it with the Minnesota Vikings and the Buffalo Bills. I mean, just incredible playoff-like football. 2 really good teams. You didn't really know what the Vikings were, kind of winning by 1, possession or 1, score each week. They're sitting at 7-1. What are the Vikings? Well, they're going to play Buffalo. Well, if you're going into Buffalo, you better be ready. And again, at one point during the fourth quarter, I think it was a 17-point Buffalo lead. So you're thinking, you know what? Minnesota's a fake team. And then something just happened. And, I think I saw ESPN or somebody saying about the win probabilities and probabilities of Buffalo winning at this point in the fourth quarter. And then it changed to Buffalo. Listen, guys, goal line stand by the Buffalo Bills, all right? Kirk Cousins can't get in. I mean, he's at the 1-inch line. Next series, Buffalo fumbles. Allen fumbles at the 1.5-inch line, and they recover Minnesota for a touchdown to put them up. And
it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable.
It was incredible. And not to mention, guys, and I'll mention this later on because I don't want to give away too much of the show, but Justin Jefferson makes an incredible catch that we've seen the Odell Beckhams. We've seen a lot of different catches. To me, it's the best catch that I have seen. It was so hard. It's 4th down. He goes up with 1 hand and gets his hand on the ball. The defensive back for Buffalo has 2 hands on the ball. And somehow he comes down, peels it away out of his 2 hands with his 1 hand, comes away with the football. In fourth quarter, they need a touchdown, and he makes that catch. So it was incredible. The game at one point, like I said, Gabe Davis caught a ball on that fourth quarter drive where they could have went and won the game, which wasn't a catch, but the referees don't stop the game and go up to the booth. And it's clearly an incompletion. So we got referee stripes messing up. We got incredible plays. We got probabilities that are so thin all of a sudden to fumble on the goal line, they score. Patrick Peterson interception in the end zone. We talked about a case. The gods came out and made the right team win because, first of all, Gabe Davis should not have been a completed catch, and that was 4th down.
Right.
Should have been right back to Minnesota, game over. But they kept going, kept that drive going. So like I said, the gods came through and helped us out there. So that game was incredible.
I got a quick demo. Here, Case, look, this is Columbia alumni football. I stole this.
Yes.
You got that? Did you get that last week, Chinch?
Yes, I did. The best thing about it, and by the way, it was on the ground. I didn't buy it. Some kid must have dropped it. Someone
stole it.
Some 4-year-old probably dropped it and was hysterically crying in an hour-long drive back to like New Jersey or something at the Columbia game. But I got it. I didn't take it from him, but I found it on the ground. So I'm going to do a demo. The catch, the 1 hand was one thing, right? But think about the case. You're an athlete. Boo, you're an athlete too. When he was going down, he somehow, look, I can't even do it with this thing. He gripped his hand where he tilted the ball so that when he fell, his hand hit the ground instead of the ball hitting the ground. So like in a split second, Case, you played baseball professionally, right. Things slow down a little. Somewhere along the lines between his arm being up here and him hitting the ground, he took his hand and tilted it so that there would be no problem with landing on the ground and calling it a catch. It's unbelievable.
That's incredible. It was incredible.
It was really incredible, the difficulty of that catch. And again, when you go back and watch the catch, the defender had two hands on it.
Unbelievable. It's just unbelievable.
And he pried it out because there's momentum while he was in the air reaching back this way. And like Chin said, the way he gripped his hand he was able to cup it back to himself at the end. Yeah. And boom, unbelievable.
Beautiful.
Was he wearing gloves? Was he wearing gloves?
He had gloves on, I believe.
Do you think if Randy Moss had the gloves that these guys have nowadays, he would be making catches that we've never ever seen before?
Yes.
He made him anyway, Case.
I know, but I'm saying he would have been exponentially better than he already was, which he's the greatest of all time.
Wait, super quick point.
Jerry Rice is the greatest of all time. Go ahead.
Wait, super quick. Anyway. So when I was at Cold Pizza years ago at ESPN, we had like a pipeline to the Giants because they were like 15 minutes from us. Plaxico Burress, I got to know really well. And he was, I don't know if it was Reebok or Nike, were the originators of this new glove that these guys wear the past 8 to 10 years. He was like the rep because he was at the time top 2 or 3 wide receivers in football. And he brought the gloves in and we were all talking with him before his like hit. And I was like touching him. I'm like, dude, you couldn't like, it was like, remember the old commercials where the guy did the crazy glue and he's got the helmet and he's hanging from the rafters? Dude, you could not separate your hand. And I was like, dude, like, are these gloves like ridiculous? He goes, I don't even have to squeeze. I don't have to squeeze sometimes. The ball will just stick in. So to your point, the Chris Carters, the Jerry Rices, name some guys.
Randy Moss,
Hines
Wards.
Dude, those guys. Think about if Altoon arguably has the best hands in like the history of football. Imagine Altoon had those gloves. I'm sorry, I digress. All right,
Michael Irvin.
Altoon. I was at the Steelers-Jets game in New York when Carnell Lake hit Altoon.
No way.
That was one of the scariest.
Yeah, everybody thought he was going to die. You were at that game?
Yeah, I was at that game. My father took me to that game. Never forget it. Wow. Felt bad for Altoon. I was like, wow, that is a collision that didn't look good. Anyway.
Yeah, keep moving. Sorry.
Moving along. Second observation, guys, and this one is a different one off the cuff for me, but I had to talk to you guys about it because I love football and I love linebacker position. I love everything that has to do with the football field. Well, I'm watching the Sunday night game versus the Chargers and the 49ers, and there was a linebacker named Dre Greenlaw who hit Justin Herbert while Herbert was scrambling. And literally, he tried to go shoulder. The helmets collided a little bit, but it wasn't an egregious hit, in my opinion. In my true opinion, it was not egregious. They stopped the game. Okay, a penalty, I understand, okay, because of the contact. But it's so hard as you're playing the NFL game, I can imagine, because how fast it is, that you can just stop and stop your body from moving. And you're trying to do you're trying to get your head out of the way. You're trying to do guys, they threw him out of the game. They ejected him. He's an important player for them. He's a damn good linebacker. They threw him out after they got together and discussed it. Now, I know about penalties, and I'm fine with that because you're trying to clean up the game, but you're throwing guys out for what I consider not a very egregious play. There's at least 12 other plays I've seen this year that you could throw a guy out. That was not one of them.
They threw him out after the replay?
Yeah, no, there was no replay. They got together. They weren't even like I don't know if that came from New York. I need to know more about this, but I just, again, put some notes together, and I'm like, you know what? Let's find out more about this because I would love to know more. Because I'm not happy with what happened.
Chinch can find out with the 33rd team.
No, he can.
No.
And he will.
I want to throw something in Case. Give me your height and weight in your best prime playing career.
6'4", 235, domination.
6'4", 235. Okay, here's my example. If you were on a full sprint, whether it be faster, whatever it was, full sprint, how long would it take you to stop?
Oh, my God.
Forever, right? Yeah. If you were 10 feet from a wall, you might hit the wall. If you were on a full sprint. Okay.
There's no doubt it hit the wall.
And you said you were how
So
tall?
to your point, Chinch,
6'4", 235 in your prime?
235, yeah.
Okay. This dude's 6 foot 230, and it's probably all muscle. How do you stop?
Right.
It like that quick. Same as it's the equivalent to a 90-mile-per-hour fastball. Do I swing or not? Is it a strike or is it a ball? I agree with you,
he didn't
Boo.
slide, which is what we look at now to know, okay, if he's sliding and you throw the elbow in, come on, just don't be stupid. He's sliding. Once he starts to slide, he's down anywhere where he slid. So if I'm a defensive player, which I was, as soon as I see the slide, okay, I'm jumping over the top. I'm not going to touch you. However, if you're still fighting for extra yards and it's close to a first down, I have to try to hit you. I'm trying to stop you from getting first down. I'm trying to win the game. They kicked him out of the game. Even Kyle Shanahan was quoted by saying, blew my mind. It blew my mind that they would get together. So if that's where we've come because of like the Tua thing and everything, and every time I mention Tua, I'm like, I don't have him in my notes, but like he's 8-0 or 7-0 in the last 7 or 8 games that he started.
Yeah, he's a beast.
This guy's story, when it's all said and done, I'm rooting for the Miami Dolphins because at one point I was okay if they didn't play football again, and he comes out and not only he's playing football, he's playing exceptional football. The crazy thing, if you looked at his numbers this past week, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle didn't dominate. I don't know who he's throwing it to because I didn't watch the game, but he's like 28 of 30. It's like, okay, Tua,
yeah,
I'm watching you, brother. I'm watching you. I wish you good health.
I love it.
And good success. It's a great story.
All right, sorry, but we took you off tangent, man. We fucking.
No, that's all right. I'm going to get back on. I'm going to start rolling, boys.
Yeah,
That's what I do. Big Lambooski. Rolling on the mayor's office with the Chinch man and the Sean Thomas Casey, baby, okay? I know everything. All right, now listen. Third observation, and guys, this one is one of the most intriguing because I think everyone in this room and a lot of people, even on your 33rd team, Chinch, they left these two teams for dead, and I think something happened. We're talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we're talking about the Green Bay Packers.
You're talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
New team. There's a new team.
Yep.
The Tampa Bay.
That's what they call them, Tampa Bay. So yeah,
you're right. Tampa Bay. Here we go. I just picked that up.
Well, it's been around for a while, but thanks a lot, guys. Welcome to the 2023 season, 22 season. So listen, they come back and beat a Rams team where we know the Rams aren't that good, and we go, all right, it was a 4th down. I don't know how the defense gave that up. So you think, okay, they're all right. The sad thing is they're still in first place because the division's so bad. So you're like, okay, you're waiting for Tom to turn around. What are we waiting for? Well, he throws that ball to Julio Jones last week, who, by the way, I told you to drop because he just wasn't – guess what? Go pick him back up because he looked spry. He took it to the house. And you know Mike Evans, you know Godwin. It seems like Godwin's still coming back from that knee injury. And Evans is what he is at this point in his career. He's a good receiver, but he's not going to let – Julio Jones comes in. He can work the middle of the field with that big body, almost sort of a la Gronk in a way with the time. Oh, but he's got a little bit of speed, takes it to the house, scores a touchdown for Brady. Tampa Bay go ahead and beats a good Seattle team. It was a good game. Tom is throwing the ball, you know what I mean, all over the park. Because, again, we talked about him having the most passing yards. And then you go down to Green Bay and you say, okay, they lost 5 in a row. They're dead in the water. Dallas is coming to town. And Dallas is up by 14 points in that game. And Green Bay got the running game going. And, oh, by the way, Christian Watson, who was drafted very high by them, who they like, finally comes down with a couple of those long balls. And he's got some speed. He can get behind the defense. They're looking for a guy. Short week. Tennessee coming into town. Get your big boy hat on. Buckle up the chin strap. Bite down on the mouthpiece. Derrick Henry and the boys are coming to town. But I'll tell you what. Off that win, I like Green Bay on a short week. They're not the best at covering wide receivers. You know, Rodgers might be able to throw and get some cracks. They run that game. It's cold. They're two very similar teams right now where they want to run the ball, I think, and throw second. But who are you taking, Rodgers or Tannehill? So I'm going to roll with Rodgers this week, even though I love Tennessee and I love Mike Vrabel. Green Bay wins this week on a short week and get some rest. Guys, it's getting cold down in Lambeau. You don't want to go in there and play football. They're used to it. Rodgers is used to it. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. We just might see something happen. And by the way, Tampa Bay's in first place because the division's terrible. So if they could just figure it out, they're going to make the playoffs. We're going to see them in the playoffs. And oh, by the way, if Julio Jones can step in, they gave him a lot of time early in the year to recover. This is what they planned. They just didn't plan for the division being so bad that they had that luxury to wait. Now it's happening. Guys, Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers just might be in the equation after all.
Let's go.
That's my observation for the week. All right. Moving along to waivers, gentlemen. All right. Now, quarterback position. I mean, we are where we are at this point on the waiver wire. There really shouldn't be that many guys out there. We told you about Justin Fields. If you picked up Daniel Jones and started him last week, he gave you, okay week. At this point, it's like, okay, you got to ride. And I think Tom Brady comes back into the equation again as a guy that you can start and roll with. Like I said, I think he's got 3 receivers now that can really do some damage to you depending on who you're going to take away. So now he can just pick and choose where he's going to attack you. And that's a situation where, I really, really, think you can either go back, pick up Tom if somebody dropped him, and you could think about Jameis Winston. The reason I say that is because Andy Dillon's experiment is over, guys. Like, he just is not – he's not the guy. I mean, at one point he was being consistent, but like when you need him to win a game, it's not happening anymore. Jameis Winston, we talked at length about where the ball's getting thrown to. Might not be his guy, but he's going to chuck it, and you can.
It might be to the other team. It might be to the other team.
I mean, it is to the other team a lot. You know what I mean? And that might minus some points to you, but you look at the end of the day, and it's like 310 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 picks. It's like,
right.
The -2 for the picks, depending on your league, but you take the touchdowns, you take the yardage. All right, moving along to the running back position. Again, this is a very thin position at this point in the year. You have to really get fortunate with an injury or two, have a backup on your bench to really be able to plug and play a guy. But a couple of guys I've mentioned on this show before are Rachaad White and Isaiah Pacheco. Rachaad White, they started to push him in for Leonard Fournette, and then in that game in Germany, Lenny gets banged up his hip. Now they're on a bye this week, so Leonard gets a week to rest, and it didn't seem like a serious injury, but you got White on his shoes about to overtake him, and now people are saying in the media like it should be White. It should be White. He's got more pop, and he does. But Lenny can still run between the tackles very hard, so I think it's going to be more of a split. Even though White might be getting more carries moving forward. Again, I hate splits, but if you need some production, he's out there. Isaiah Pacheco, I think he had 16 carries for 80-something yards. Not a bad yard per carry average. I told you he ran hard last week. He did run hard. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he wasn't even on the field. They had Jerick McKinnon running around. So McKinnon is a guy.
McKinnon gets more juice than the other guy. Like, McKinnon gets receptions, right? Boo?
Well, yeah, he's their receiving back. And again, Clyde Edwards-Helaire was getting those receptions earlier, but lately it's just been he's gone out of the offense. So you get McKinnon, you get Pacheco. Pacheco just needs to score a few touchdowns. And again, when you're dealing with Kansas City, it's almost like, Andy, get the guy a touchdown. You can have any one of 17 people score on your team. You can get a fan to come out and design something to get him wide open. You know what I mean? I think Kadarius Toney caught a football this past week, and I think Pro Football, somebody said it was the most wide open wide receiver in all of football this year. It's like, that's all design, man. That's all what Andy does. That's all how they use Kelsey to get double coverage and just slipping guys underneath. It's a great offense. I want shares of that. All right. The juice of waivers this week, boys, coming from the wide receiver position, all right? The big Lambooski's here to tell you. We talked about Mr. Christian Watson already, and his 3 touchdowns last week on 4 receptions. Guys, he runs a really good deep route, and it intrigued Green Bay from the very beginning. That's why they drafted him. Well, let's not forget the first pass of the season, gentlemen, if you go back, versus the Minnesota Vikings, pretty much hit him in the biscuits on the fly. And he got behind the defender and he dropped it. And from then he had some dropsies. And again, I think he dropped the pass again this past week. But listen, of all the rookies that are running deep routes that are like really good at it, he's got a way about him that he floats, that he's getting behind defenders.
And hey,
yesterday he caught a post route too. So go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, were you going to finish your thought? I was going to say.
Yeah, he just caught a post route, which was nice to see him. It wasn't just a go route. So I think they start incorporating him in a lot of different route trees. Yeah. So I really like Christian Watson.
And hey, by the way, if you're a Cooper Kupp owner, he's out. He's out at least 2, 3, 4 weeks.
We're
on IR today.
That's your guy.
That hurts me and the big Lambooski.
It doesn't look good.
I got to tell you, Case, it does hurt us, but Brandon Ayuk has been on a bench. Gabe Davis has been on my bench. David Montgomery been on my bench. Who, by the way, Herbert just went on the IR today. So 4 weeks with only Montgomery. So even though we lost Kupp, I cannot tell you we are surging. and I really like our depth.
Okay, but I'm saying if you don't have the depth that a big Lambooski, Sean Casey team has, go out and get your guy. You were just talking about if you lost Kupp, right? You have depth. 100%. Some people don't have depth.
Got to do something.
All right. Beautiful.
Well, you know, they weren't listening, obviously, to the podcast. Shame on them. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving them the building blocks. They don't want to take it. I can't help you. You know what I mean?
Building
I can't help you. The next guy we talking about is Kadarius Toney. And listen, guys, Kadarius Toney, they went out and got him. He was a first-round draft pick for the New York Giants. They went out and traded for him. Andy's using him. Guess what happens when you use him? The guy has production. It's the Kansas City Chiefs offense. It's like, it doesn't matter. Plug and play. Kadarius Toney, he gets out there, go run to your waiver wire and get him. I mean, guys, the guy caught a touchdown pass this past week. He was just incredibly sudden with his movements. Andy loves that. He's incorporating him in the offense. He's catching balls with nobody around him. I mean, what's not to like about that, man? You got to go out and get him if it's not too late. Somebody you can basically plug and play, especially like you said, you got Kupp. You got guys on buys now. We're going through a meat of some buys this week. So, you know, you could do a lot worse than Kadarius Toney right now. And again, we talked about Paris Campbell a couple of weeks, and then Sam Ehlinger took over at quarterback for Indianapolis, and Paris kind of disappeared again along with the rest of the wide receivers. Matty Ice, back from the freaking freezer, baby. Okay, he threw his ass, get him back on the field. First of all, we talked about last week's observations. Indianapolis, they go to Las Vegas and they come out with a victory, and it's crazy. Jeff Saturday, the whole news about it. That's a whole nother section we don't have time for. I'm happy for, you know, Matt Ryan to get back out there on the field again, because, you know, he's kind of hosed in that situation. We saw Sam Ehlinger just didn't work out. Matty's bite. Paris Campbell has 32 targets in the last 3 games with Matt Ryan. That's 10 targets a game, gentlemen. I don't know about you, but if you can find something juicy like that on your waiver wire, you run to the waiver wire, you put a bid in for him, you use a good portion of your fab, and if you're, you know, high on the list, hopefully you get him. But he's definitely a guy that you need to consider. All right. Moving along to the tight end position. All right. And you know, again, if you weren't paying attention last week, slap yourself in the face again. There it is. There it is. You know, obviously, you know, we'll talk about Cole Kmet. I got a little something on Cole Kmet here in a little bit, but if he's on your waiver wire, he shouldn't be. Go out and get him. All right. Better late than never with him, even though you missed on the 74 yards and 2 touchdowns and the Yahoo My Balls. The other guy out there is a guy by the name of Trey McBride. Trey McBride is the number one. He was the number 1 rookie coming out of college this year, right? So Trey McBride is now taking over for Zach Ertz, because Zach Ertz, oh, we got baseball bat. Where's my bat, man? I got to get myself a bat. You got a bat because you're from Long Island. Casey, because he played in the big leagues. This is different. It's a big difference, you know? But Trey McBride is a guy that's kind of going to be out there now. Zach Ertz, knee injury. It's a multi-week injury. It didn't look good. He got carted off. So you got a guy like Trey McBride. Rookies are always, you know, iffy when it comes to the tight end position, but Trey was uber talented coming out of college, might be able to get in there and catch you a few balls. Like I said, tight end position's pretty dry, so you could do a lot worse than that, all right? Let's talk about defenses, baby. Stream. And this week, the reason why I want to mention this team is because people might have dropped defenses when you go on a bye, and the Jets were on a bye last year. The Jets, Jets, baby, let's go. All right? They're playing New England this week. You know, New England, you know, they've had the Jets number, but last time they played, the Jets had 6 sacks. All right? Jets are rested, coming off a bye. If they're out there, pick them up. If not, I like the Bengals. The Bengals are playing my beloved Steelers. There you go.
Yeah.
Whoa, Will, that's
you can't see it. I put the Jets. The Jets are sitting on one of my waiver wires because somebody probably dropped them because last week.
The Bengals are coming off a bye, all right? They're playing the Steelers. I mean, the Steelers might have won, but they put up 20 points. It's not like the Steelers are a juggernaut on offense. What are you looking for? Decent defenses. Interdivision games are always pretty close, pretty tight to the vest. And you got a rookie quarterback going up against a bye week defense, so you can scheme for him. And it's not like the Steelers are lighting the world on fire. So, again, the Bengals, easily a streaming option this week if you're just looking for somebody and you got your defense on a bye. All right. And that's it, gentlemen, for the waiver wire, baby.
Beautiful. Now,
yeah, baby.
Now, where are we going, Case? Now, this is what everybody waits for.
Now we're getting into the part that we love.
Let's go.
When the big Lambooski comes back with his forget about it. Forget about it.
I'm thinking that you're into it lately.
Forget about it. Forget about it. And my Hulk Hogan. Yo, brother, forget about it.
That was bad, but I've seen better out of you with Hogan. And I love Hogan, too. All right? So listen, gentlemen, first up this week on the dud list is Mr. Cordarrelle Patterson. Mr. Patterson, You came off the IR last week. You scored 2 touchdowns. You're back. You're the man. Atlanta likes to run the ball. You figured, yeah, let's do it, Cordell. We're playing Thursday night versus Carolina. It's a rainy game. It's nasty. I got the starting running back for Atlanta. Get this. You ready? He had, what do you say he had? He had 5 rushes for 18 yards, 1 catch for 2 yards. Forget about it. Guys, it was a bad night. You got to forget about it and move on, Cordell. You're the man. Great story, great everything. But last week, you just got to forget about it. All right, there'll be better days. Moving right along. The next guy on this list is none other than Mr. George Kittle. Oh, Georgie. Oh, Georgie, Georgie Pudding and Pie. We love you as a football player. You do everything on the field. But sometimes in that San Francisco offense, you just disappear. You're like Houdini. Where'd you go, George? It's Sunday night. I need you. You got 1 catch for 21 yards. Forget about it. Hey, Georgie, listen, we know how good you are of a football player, but this is fantasy, man. I don't care how good you block. I need you to put your mittens on a couple of balls. I love this stadium, okay? You got me 1 catch for 21 yards. You know what I got to do? I got to forget about it, and I'm going to forget about it. Move on, all right? Now, listen, the last stud on the list, all right, this week, it made me wait until Monday night. Guys, you might know him as A.J. Brown. I know him as Arthur Juan Brown, okay? Mr. A.J. Brown, you went into the tent, okay? You nicked up your leg after your first catch. You had 7 yards. I'm like, it's going to be a big night, Arthur. Guess what, Arthur? You went in the blue tent physically, but you didn't come out for some reason because you went back on the field. But that was it. You called 1 ball for 7 yards. Forget about it. It's A.J. Brown. It's Arthur Juan Brown. For some reason, dude, I don't know what happened. They lost that game. It was just a terrible game. It got away from him. But A.J., you're like, come on, he's our stud. They're playing from behind. You figure they get the ball back. A.J.'s going to get some yards. He caught 1 ball for 7 yards. You got to forget about it. Move on. All right. All right, gentlemen, now to our favorite part, okay?
Yeah, baby.
On the side of the tracks, the segment we've been waiting for, okay? So our first, let's forget those duds, all right? The duds we got to get by. We want some studs, okay? The first stud on my list gets back to Yahoo My Balls, baby. It's Mr. Cole. Yeah. Okay? Talk about Cole, okay? We talked about everything. His projected 5.6 point. Guess what, Cole? You went 4 for 74 yards and 2 touchdowns. Forget about it, Mr. Man. We love you. And not only do we love you, listen to me about this. Not only do we love you, Case, we played him too. David Njoku's been hurt. Hayden Hurst on a bye. Well, who am I going to get? I'm going to go get Cole Kmet. I'm going to practice what I preach. I'm going to get Cole Kmet. He's going to bust out 20-something points. And you know what the final was last night, Case? 122.25 to 122.16.
No.
Yeah, 0.09 victory. And here's the thing about that league, and I'll say this right now.
Let's go.
Right?
Wait, Case, did you know about this? Did you know?
No, he didn't call me.
Here's the thing. I was up all night watching Fanny because that's why we love it. Because I'm invested all the way to the end. We got 122.25. Listen to me. This is a league where I told you at 65% completion percentage, you get an extra 3 points. It was 122.25 to 118.9 something, right? Or whatever it was. And then
go ahead. You're right.
Hurts completes the ball, the last play of the game, and I'm watching the thing, and it shoots up to 122, and I see it, and I'm about to throw up in my mouth. I'm like, and they fumble it, and they return it for a touchdown, and the game's over, and I'm like, what? And I look, and I'm like, it's not enough. It's 122, but it's 19. It's not 122. So we win by point, like 09 or 0.06. Get a double victory. Because not only was it a victory, it was
that's an all-timer.
The winner gets 6th place. So top 6 teams get a victory. Bottom 6 teams get losses. Head-to-head gets a victory loss. Chance, we talked about this. So it was not only a head-to-head victory, we were the 6th place of the highest ranked team. So we got the double victory. So like,
holy shit!
No, that's how you win championships.
First place.
That's how you win championships right there.
It was incredible. It was incredible.
Wow.
So,
all right.
Keep
going.
Mr. Komet, you were part of that. Forget about it. All right?
All right.
Thank you. Such a big move in so many different directions. All right. All right. The next guy for us came through in a big way. And honestly, he was an easy choice this week because, like I said, it was the most incredible catch that I've seen by somebody in a very long time, if not forever. And I'm looking at you, Mr. Justin Jefferson. It must be the name, Justin. You're beautiful, baby. Forget about it. 10 receptions, 193 yards, and a touch. And I'm telling you guys, every single one of his catches is like contested. Dude, he's long, lanky. His route running and his suddenness at the top of his routes. He's a special player. I think he's got the most 100-yard games in the history of the game in the first, I don't know how many games that he's played in his career. So what he's doing is just incredible, you know. So, you know, when you're looking at Justin Jefferson, you're talking about contested catches. You're talking about like making one of the greatest catches we've seen on a 4th down where they need it most. I mean, what's not to like about it? You can forget about it, J baby. JJ, Dynamite. All right, so let's go. All right. All right. The next guy on our list, okay, and it's the 3rd guy. He happens to reside down in Big B, but the Dallas
Did you write
Cowboys.
that down?
His name is CeeDee
Wait,
Lamb,
hold on.
and it must be about the lamb because the Lambooski and CeeDee Lamb will tell you to forget about it, CeeDee, okay? Because you know what you did today? You caught 10 balls, but for 150 yards and not 1, but 2 touchdowns down in Lambeau Field, okay? A lot of lambs all around, okay? Barry had a little lamb, all right?
Lambooski Field.
So Lambooski Field, baby. So listen, CJ Lamb is starting to become that guy that you can just set and forget it. Once that came back, CD is now that every week guy. He's really looking good. He's catching everything. I love CD too when I watch him because he catches a lot of first downs. He's like one of the top 3rd down receptions, and he just does that little, you know, he goes bang, and he just bangs the first down. It's subtle. It's not in your face. I love it. So you know what? I'm not going to forget about it, CD. I'm going to ride with you, baby, and that's it for this week. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. All right, Lambooski, bring it up.
That's it. That's it.
Dance it up, okay?
And it's tonight, forget it forever with you. Don't you know
I got excited.
heaven and earth be together forever with Lamboo.
Yeah. That's how you bring it home, gentlemen.
Awesome,
Holy
brother. Awesome job.
Stromboli.
Chinch, way to bring it at the beginning.
Did I do all right with that? Casey looked a little nervous because the more things
It was incredible. I mean,
when you see a lot of cursing,
on the
Casey gets
podcast.
yeah, it is. That's why
You're
I
better
wanna make sure
for
it's
it. You're
right.
better for it. They can't stop us. Listen, blame it all on me. The kid from Jersey. I'm okay with it.
Wow.
all right,
Shout out
man.
to Ken.
Awesome stuff. Big Lambooski, shout out of Ken again. If you're not tuning in on Wednesdays at the mayor's office with Big Lambooski, you're missing out.
Forget
You're missing
about
out.
it.
Tune in. Forget about it. If you're not tuning in, tell all your friends you want fantasy football. Bam, Big Lambooski.
I love
Bringing
it.
the noise.
I love it.
All right,
By the way,
Chich.
wait, hold on, real
Love
quick.
you, bro.
Real quick.
What?
41 minutes. There you go. You got your 10 minutes. Even though I used about 7
There
of
you
them.
go.
Okay,
I could do it for a whole day if we were here together.
yeah, well, we can't. We don't have time for that. We don't have time.
We will one day.
Yeah, one day.
Nice job,
job,
Lambooski.
Boo.
Chinch, nice job too. I'll see you tomorrow.
Love you
Everyone
guys.
out there listening, thanks for tuning in. Keep subscribing, downloading, telling your friends. See you guys later.